Have you ever felt like part of your life isn't really yours? That decisions, fears, and patterns you carry come from something that happened long before you were born? What if I told you the invisible bond your mother left inside you quietly shaped who you are, but it can be transformed? The good news, and also the surprising part, is that the pain you carry can become the key to your freedom. It sounds counterintuitive, doesn't it? But this is exactly what Jung's psychology and attachment studies reveal. What seemed like fate is actually a script you can rewrite. In this video, you'll discover how to recognize these patterns, understand the love that traps, and for the first time create a healthy bond with life and with yourself without guilt, without losing your history. Asterisk, from the very first cry, even before we know who we are already receiving an invisible map of the world. Bowlby observed that the bond between mother and child isn't just about care. It's the silent foundation that shapes how the child will see trust, danger, and love throughout life. Every hug, every glance seems to be recording internal codes that program our emotional software. When this bond is stable, the world feels safe. But when it fails, adulthood carries scars no one can see from the outside. Mary Ainsworth showed this brilliantly in her attachment studies. Some children run to their mother confidently, some hesitate, others avoid. These small differences turn into lenses that color all future relationships. It's like receiving an emotional script before you even learn to read. Anyone who notices they repeat patterns of trust or distrust in adult relationships is simply following a script that was handed to them without permission. Jung takes this further. He said the mother's shadow isn't just in the mother, it projects onto the child's identity, like a watermark on the soul. Imagine a blank sheet of paper with a hidden drawing. The more you color, the more the underlying shape shows through. Many adults are surprised to react automatically, as if pulled by old memories. And the interesting part is that what feels like a prison can also become the key to the next step in awareness. Inside every home, more than walls and furniture, there's an invisible stage where each person is given a role. There's the caretaker who takes on responsibilities too early, the rebel who questions everything, and the savior who tries to keep harmony at all costs. These roles aren't freely chosen. They appear as silent adjustments to what's missing or overflowing in the family. If someone constantly finds themselves calming conflicts or solving problems, they probably inherited this script without ever rehearsing it. It's like the family is a living ecosystem. When one role becomes fixed, others adjust around it to maintain balance. If one member becomes fragile, another inevitably becomes strong. It's similar to nature. When one species occupies a fixed space, others adapt to survive. This emotional dance happens automatically, and many adults continue performing the same roles even when they no longer make sense. Imagine someone who was the caretaker as a child. As an adult, they may become the friend who always attracts relationships where they have to save the other person, or the rebel in childhood, who as an adult fights any authority, even at work, sabotaging their own career. These roles are like invisible tattoos, hard to remove, but possible to reshape. And behind all this, there's love. Sometimes suffocating, that only asks to be understood. There are phrases that sound sweet but carry an invisible weight. When a mother says, "You are my whole life," it may sound like affection, but it hides a dangerous fusion. The child, still too young to understand, absorbs the message that their existence isn't their own, but an extension of the mother. This idea grows like roots spreading in every direction: difficulty saying no, fear of disappointing, a tendency to choose paths just to please. It's a love disguised as a gift, but that silently collects a debt. Researchers like Ivan Minuchin showed how enmeshed families create blurred boundaries, and Yurkovich described parentification, when a child takes on emotional responsibilities that aren't theirs. The result? Adults carrying not only their own life but the weight of others' expectations. It's like trying to run a marathon with a backpack full of stones. Some go far, but always exhausted, never fully running for themselves. This dynamic shows up in relationships and even in careers. Someone who can never refuse a boss's request, even when it harms them. A partner who accepts everything to avoid abandonment. A child who studies medicine not out of passion, but to honor someone else's dream. These are invisible debts paid with identity, and it's at this point that awareness begins to wake up, showing that love should not mean imprisonment. Jung said, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate." It's a reality check. How often do people believe I'm just not meant to be happy or love isn't for me, without realizing they're repeating inherited patterns? Awakening starts when someone dares to ask, is this story really mine, or am I just living an old script handed to me? This is when life stops feeling like a prison and starts opening as possibility. Healing doesn't mean cutting ties or rejecting the mother, but transforming the way we love. It's like taking an old melody, full of sad notes, and learning to play it with new, lighter chords. Saying, "I love you, but I am not you, my life is my own," isn't a break, it's freedom. Awareness creates space in the heart that was once filled with guilt, obligation, or fear of disappointing. It's the first deep breath after a long time. This process doesn't happen overnight. It's like waking from a dream. At first, the view is blurry, but gradually the edges become clear. Small choices, saying no without fear, respecting silence, making autonomous decisions, show the unconscious losing its automatic control. And each step in this awakening opens the door to practical ways to turn pain into tools for growth. Healing isn't erasing the past, but learning to separate what belongs to you from what never did. A first step is recognizing inherited feelings. How often do we feel sad or anxious without knowing why? Asking, "Is this really mine or an echo of my mother's pain?" begins to return choice to the person. It's like opening an old suitcase and realizing half the clothes inside aren't yours. They were put there by someone else. Practical tools help. Inner child therapy invites adults to meet that inner child still seeking comfort and validation. Therapeutic writing is also powerful. Writing 2 columns, one for your own voice and one for the internalized maternal voice, can reveal hidden boundaries. It's like hearing your own tone stand out in a choir of inherited echoes. These exercises not only organize the mind, but bring clarity to the heart. There are also symbolic rituals that act as healthy, energetic cuts. Writing down everything you feel doesn't belong to you, guilt, fear, expectations, and then tearing or burning the paper is a gesture of return. This simple act brings a real sense of lightness, like finally letting go of a backpack that was never yours. And when that weight drops, the whole body begins moving with more freedom. But this raises the next question: how do you rebuild a healthy bond without losing this newfound autonomy? Breaking free doesn't mean rejecting the core mother. It means choosing a freer bond based on respect and autonomy. When someone can look at their mother with compassion without losing themselves, they see that love can exist without suffocating. It's the moment to approach consciously, not automatically. It's like learning to dance to an old song, but now with your own steps instead of just following the rhythm that was set for you. Conscious forgiveness is key. It's not about forgetting or excusing painful behavior, but recognizing the mother's humanity, her limits, fears, and wounds. Doing so interrupts cycles of repeating patterns and opens space for healthier relationships in the future. Family history becomes just a chapter, valuable but without power over your choices today. Healing. This wound goes beyond the individual. Future generations benefit too. Children and grandchildren inherit a legacy of conscious love instead of unconscious patterns. Every step toward healthy reconnection is a gift not just for yourself, but for those who come after. And in this, the journey finds its deepest meaning. A dance between freedom and connection, past and present. Asterisk, throughout this video, you've seen that much of what we feel and do comes from invisible patterns inherited from our mother. But now you have tools to change that. Why not start applying them today? Ask yourself, which decisions I make are truly mine, and which are echoes from the past? What part of the love that trapped me can now be reshaped? Try writing, reflecting, and setting healthy boundaries. Small actions can create big changes. Remember, healing isn't about cutting ties. It's about choosing to love consciously, freeing yourself without abandoning those you love. Every step you take, affects more than just your life. Future generations benefit too: children, grandchildren, close friends. Imagine leaving a legacy of relationships based on authentic love and respect, rather than inherited patterns. This is your chance to transform family history into something that enriches rather than limits. Ask yourself, how can I live with more presence, freedom, and authenticity starting today? If you want to keep expanding your awareness and learning, practical ways to reshape bonds, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. Every video is an invitation to look within, understand invisible patterns, and create the life you deserve. Now I want to hear from you. Which of these steps will you start applying first? Share in the comments and join a journey that goes beyond understanding toward real, lasting transformation.